Okay, this is gonna be started. Ace, whenever you have a second, can you check out if everything's good and also drop a comment in the chat so to make sure that's working. Um, just do a couple other checks on my end and then we'll start recording. Okay, we're definitely live. Definitely live. Nice. And I'm on the right screen. Even though that wasn't gonna work. Okay.
Oh, you sound kind of echoey.
Okay. This is why we do the checks on my end and then
Yeah,
we'll
I
start
sound
recording.
echoey.
You should probably turn that down a bit as well, so it's not interfering with what we're hearing as well.
No, I'm just allowing you to hear it. I was.
I trust if you say it sounds accurate, then it sounds accurate. Maybe if I turn this down a bit. A couple dBs. Does it still sound very echoey, or does it sound a bit better now?
Like,
Jesus, Joseph and Mary. Oh, jeez. I guess in theory you do have to do a check on the audio even during the stream. Even though we think the audio check we do before the stream is going to be reflective of how the audio sounds during the stream, but you never know.
yeah, you still sound echoey. I feel like it has to do with the issue from last week, but now it's doubling your sound.
Okay.
Because what did you do to fix it?
I turned on the mic box on my end, but the thing is, oh, you know what? Now I'm coming up in the Discord audio. Fam, this is not fair. So it's gonna be like sometimes the Discord audio does pick up me and sometimes it doesn't.
I don't know.
How does it sound now though?
Wait, it's catching up.
Because if it doesn't sound good now, then I don't know what to do. But I am being picked up my Discord audio, which is good because if it's picking up Discord audio, then it should be picking up the audio on the stream.
Yeah, it's good now.
The perils of audio engineering. And I'm assuming you sound all right as well?
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, let's waste no further time. Let's get right into it. Start recording. There's no time like the present. Okay. Now we're live and we're recording. So, welcome back, guys. Welcome everybody to the Be Warned and Be Filled podcast. We're back. We're back. And we got everyone here. We got the guys, the gang, the family, La Familia, the... How do you say family in French?
La famille.
Nice. What he said. We got Ace.
What's up?
We got Wes.
Hey.
We got Ghost.
Yo.
And we got myself, Questlando. Guys, how we all doing? How we all feeling?
Doing all right? Pretty good.
Decent.
Nice. I'm not feeling too bad myself. It's been a long week. I feel as if I've seen a lot of you guys, which is not a bad for fact because we linked up a couple times. I guess before we get into like any of that stuff, how was everything for y'all? I guess the thing I'm most interested is we linked up and we saw. Yes, sometimes we talk to each other outside this podcast. The Oppenheimer movie. So since we all saw it, we got to give a nice warm review. So I guess what do y'all think of it? Start with you, Ace. What do you think? Without spoilers, this is a spoiler-free review, of course.
For sure. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty great film. Definitely worth seeing in the theater. Perhaps a bit overhyped, in my opinion, but still pretty great. I think it's gonna land at like I don't know, 8 like an 8 out of 10 for me.
Got you. What do you think, Wes?
But
What do you think of it? Or did you think of it? Sorry.
Very much enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand why people felt the way they did about it as far as broad interest, but for me, it held up as a good movie. Distinct for me, it was a distinct movie in both halves of it, kind of, and I enjoyed both of them. So
Nice.
yeah.
That was actually a good review, actually. What about you, Ghost? Some people may or may not have seen it multiple times, so I think your opinion might be a little more even valid.
Well, considering the fact that I did see it multiple times, I enjoyed it a lot. No spoilers, I guess. I'll just say I rate it 8.5 out of 10. The score for me was probably the best part of the movie. Not to say anything that the movie was bad, but that might be one of my favorite movie scores ever.
Jeez.
Like I listened to it multiple times on Spotify, but yeah, it's a good movie. The subject matter is not something that I would have cared about or honestly do care about, but it was so well made that it's kind of made my dislike for biopics and documentaries and all that moot. So I liked it.
Fair enough. And when we say spoilers, like you could like vague. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I definitely thought it was dope. But like you said to Wes, I was kind of surprised about like how people were like running to see this like lined up. But then I remember like anything that's World War II related is going to have some level of interest amongst people. Because it's like the most like you know talked about historical event in history. I guess that specific aspect of it, I could understand why, or be I'm a bit surprised that people were like interested in it, but it also was a Christopher Nolan joint, so that also is going to bring attention to it as well. Um, yeah, so it was good all around. I'll say this: if you're listening, Christopher Nolan, as if you would be listening, you were pushing it in terms of that length. I'm gonna be honest, it was almost getting there, but it was still dope nonetheless. And dang, I want to ask a question. I'll ask it afterwards. Cause Ace looked at me crazy when I asked a question after the movie, but like, I think a lot of people missed that. Or am I?
oh my gosh,
Oh,
yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Leave that for after the podcast. So you don't embarrass yourself.
All right.
Wait, what? I don't know. Nah, we gotta get into it now. I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, it's not. It's nothing serious. It's funny, but it's
I'm willing to bet a lot of people missed that. But okay, all right. I'll leave it alone. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, it's definitely a dope movie. Just make sure you have a couple hours allotted to it. But speaking of recommendations, does anyone else have any recommendations outside of music, of course? Any content that they want to come on here that they consumed recently? They want to come on here and talk about, speak to.
yeah. This is kind of a weird one, but I got a YouTube channel. It's called the Versus Vortex. Anybody, it's basically like a fighting game centric channel. These two dudes, Mike Rost and Shen.
Oh, Mike Ross? I know.
Yeah, yeah. They play various fighting games. I think now they're focusing mostly on Street Fighter 6, but they play games that I've never even heard of before. And yeah, it's just a fun time to watch. Mike Ross used to be on this other channel called, or have this other like YouTube show called The Excellent Adventures of Gutex and Mike. And back then they were playing Street Fighter 4. And yeah, it was a great channel. I remember like looking forward to every episode every week. Just seeing other people like get salty while playing online matches. It kind of like made it worth playing the game to me. It almost feel like you have camaraderie when you when you see other people playing. But yeah, either way. Versus Vortex.
Nice. I'm not gonna cap. I love when I stumble upon a new YouTube channel, a new content creator that I like. That's when, that's like when people say they find a new show that they love and they start binging. That's what I'd be doing. But okay, dope. Anybody else or anything else?
Yeah, They Clone Tyrone on Netflix was excellent, so I recommend watching that. Won't drop any spoilers.
That's definitely the hot thing of the week. So I'm glad somebody has consumed it out of us and can come on here and say it's worth watching. And yeah, I think that's one of the things that you literally just want to go in blind. Dope. Wait, did you watch all of it already, or did you just watch some of it?
Yeah, the whole movie.
Oh damn, nice.
Is it a movie?
And it was kind of
show?
long. It was a movie. It's a movie.
Okay.
That's why I asked if you watched all of it, because I heard that was kind of long. Okay. Anything else before we jump right into the topics?
Nope.
Got you. And actually, I stayed before we jump into the topics, but there is one thing we actually do have to discuss before we jump into the topics. Not as of right now, but we're actually recording this at the end of July. So basically, more than half the year is gone, and time has flown. 2023 has been an hell of a year, but obviously in this day and age, every year is a hell of a year because things that happen are just so more unbelievable than the last event. So I think you already have that pulled up, Ace. Since we're basically more than halfway through the year, let's do a nice mid-year review at some of the more outlandish things that have happened. And by outlandish, to be honest, salute to the Shade Room for posting this little calendar. I'm willing to bet a lot of what's on this calendar y'all won't even be familiar with, which I don't hate sometimes, because it's always interesting hearing you guys' firsthand hot or perspective on things. So I guess how did I want to approach this? First of all, let's just go by this one by one. Ace, looking at the calendar, how many things on this calendar are you even aware of? Just say the number.
1.
Okay. And is it June?
No, it's February.
What? Oh yeah. How many things on the calendar are you familiar with?
I would say 5, 6 if you count Ja Morant twice. But what's that image in June? I can't.
June is the submarine thing.
Oh, okay. I'm at 6 then.
Okay. So which months are you familiar with?
February, March, April. March with Ja. I don't know the second thing. April, May with Usher and Ja. June, and that's it.
Okay. And then last but not least, what about you, Wes? How many months are on this thing you're familiar with?
Never mind.
2, 5.
Oh snap! Y'all are more abreast than I thought y'all.
February, March, May, June, July.
Well, all right. I don't want to call nobody out because there's no reason for y'all to come here and cap. But what do you know? What do you know about the Ja Morant situation?
Well, I heard it on the podcast. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, so yeah, basically it'd be kind of corny if I really went through this in order. But it's really if you know, you know, and unfortunately.
But real quick, I will admit that until one of y'all said it was Ja Morant, I didn't know who that was. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
I wouldn't have known.
That's fair. That's fine. But I guess I do have to kind of break it down for if you're just listening to this vocally. Yes, What'd you say?
No.
Oh, so we started off the year very light. Just one of the most toxic relationships that mankind have ever seen. The Blueface and Krishan Rock got pregnant.
That is her.
But we
the pregnancy is the event.
I
okay.
do know.
Who is
about
it?
I
Who's
didn't
the
know when it was, but
who's this lady?
Lord. Who is this lady? By the way, you are blessed to not know anything about Blueface and Krishan
You
Rock.
truly are.
How do you describe Krishan Rock? She's a
one half
reality.
of a
Oh, I
disgusting
figured.
couple.
Yeah, reality stars. Yes, one half of the pretty toxic in relationship. Blueface's future BM. Um, yeah, a person that needs help. That's the best way to put it. But
Hmm.
we all can appreciate the beauty of life. So salute to them and hope they're having a safe pregnancy. February was Super Bowl, and who outperformed at the Super Bowl? But Rihanna, where she announced she's also pregnant. So there's a lot of pregnancy in the air. Although some women are probably holding their breath when they hear this. Also, if you care about, I forget what company are those Balenciagas or Gucci's? Some
Mischief.
some companies dropped these uh, Disney Mickey Mouse looking boots, and a lot of
It was
celebrities bought it.
Mischief. It's the same company that does all the weird stunts, like the what's his name? The
Kanye.
Lil Nas X, the Blood Shoes, and he did
Oh,
the
Oh,
paintball on the Boston Dynamics dog. They just do a bunch of stuff. That's Mischief. That's the
oh,
company.
nice. I like when you guys are more hip to things than I am.
I really
March,
hate those shoes.
everyone does. It's like it's kind of like a runway fashion event thing that people actually like produce in real life. But anyway, March was the first John Morant incident? Question mark. I thought that was actually a while ago. But yeah, items on Instagram Live,
I
and
think there's
also
been 3 separate incidents, but
fair enough.
that might have been the second.
April was some college basketball. What team was this homegirl on again?
It was LSU
Yes.
for Angel Reese and Iowa for Caitlin Clark.
Absolute. I love when you guys can break down some of the stuff that I've damn near forgotten at this point. Yeah, she made news because she basically celebrated, and it was a bit like obnoxious, even though it's relatively tame in the world of sports, and it became a whole like, look at the treatment that black women get in sports. And then something happened about like the White House said they invited the other team, but obviously you can't do that. And then they said they don't want to go to the White House. I don't know. The moral of the story is that was interesting for that month. Then allegedly in May there was an altercation between Usher and Chris Brown. No one ever actually saw any footage of that, so it was a rumor in the wind. And John Morant had his second incident where he was waving some questionable items on Instagram Live. And isn't the outcome of that he just got suspended for like 20 something games?
Yeah, but he was already hurt, missing some games, so it wasn't like a legit suspension like it could have been. But yeah, that was the outcome of the first one.
Dang, when you're like a top tier player, you can really just do whatever, can't you? June, which already feels like a million months ago, we had the unfortunate question mark submarine incident where some incredibly wealthy people went in a incredibly questionable submarine, and yeah, the outcome of that wasn't pleasant. We never actually talked about that, did we? Does anyone have any hot takes about that?
The fact that you said it was questionably unfortunate is kind of crazy, but nah, I mean, play stupid games. You know what they say.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think the engineer in me uh, is a bit like suspicious for the entire thing, but yeah, you said it best. And then July, which just passed, we had the Key Palmer and Usher situation. It's been
Oh,
like lit. Go ahead. Ace.
it was with Usher. Or are these separate situations?
No, it was literally Usher and Key Palmer. Go ahead. I want to hear what
No,
you
I
have
was
to
gonna
say.
ask if you were gonna explain it because I still don't know what the heck happened.
Oh, I mean the TDLR. Or I said that wrong. The too long didn't read is Key Palmer went to Usher concert as one does. Actually, he does it. He's doing a residency in Las Vegas right now, so a lot of people are going to see his shows. Who isn't a fan of Usher here? I think at least one of y'all aren't. But and when you're a celebrity like Keke Palmer, you can actually get on stage, and sometimes Usher will like serenade you, and you know, no one really thought much of it, but her BD and or baby daddy, um, went to Twitter to essentially call them out because of the outfit they were wearing, as well as iconic R&B artists serenading and dancing with your child's mother who's wearing a, to be quite honest, revealing outfit. Um, yeah, it's gonna spark some things. But he went to Twitter to speak on it, and I think he said something effective like that dress though, you're a mom or something like that, and it sparked one of the biggest internet outrages of last month.
On whose part is it? Like a
The thing
debate?
is, the thing is, the reason why why it was such an annoying thing because whenever these things happen, it becomes a whole nother chapter in the gender war debate. Oh, he's right. You're a mom. You shouldn't be out wearing stuff like that and dancing with Usher. Oh, you're as a guy, and you're if you're with a person like Keke Palmer, you shouldn't be insecure, and it shouldn't be anything that she's dancing with Usher and wearing an outfit. She's just being confident and expressing herself. So it just became more debating and more gender war strife.
Gotcha.
But the real culprit in that situation was Usher. Usher has been ruining people's relationships since I don't know how long. They made an entire Boondocks episode about it. Yes. And also if you're unfamiliar with this woman in a nurse outfit, I don't know what I think she was a nurse. Carly, what was her last name? I don't know, but
Wasn't Russ?
yeah, something like that. Again, the too long didn't read of that story if you're unfamiliar with. So one evening, a report went out that a woman went missing, and it was some strange events around it. She saw a baby on the or a young child on the highway, and she got out to help the child, and then she allegedly got abducted, and then there was a whole national seriously, and it's a young black woman, so people are extra on arms, and then several days later, she just returned home, and everyone's like happy, but we're like, well, what happened? And then as the investigation went on, because of course people are going to investigate the things, it was basically a Jussie Smollett situation.
What?
Yes, she actually just made the entire thing up. Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think the latest in that she has to pay a fine to the police department because the investigation, obviously cost a certain amount of things. She actually had a mugshot.
Makes sense.
So yeah. To this day we don't know what her direct motive was, but the moral of the story is don't mess around with Amber Alerts and missing reports, things of that nature, because it's not no game. But obviously, depending on year where you look to for news and the things that you pay attention to, you may not be familiar with any of this, or you may be familiar with all of it, like me, unfortunately. But yeah, so far, what would y'all say about this year? Is it like wild? Has you seen crazier? Do you think we're gonna see crazier this year? Do you think it's been relatively tame? What do you think, Ghost?
After 2020, 2021, there's not much that craziness that could really phase me. So it's nothing I really cared about beyond.
Yeah. What about you, Wes? Was this like any of these stories were like super crazy, or do you think it's just like, nah, it really didn't even mean anything in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, none of it was that crazy. I don't know if any of it will last beyond this year. Maybe the Titanic thing. Maybe.
Oh yeah, it was like a submarine to go like see the Titanic or something like that. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Does the engineering feel does the engineering you see that's why we can't have nice things. Does the engineer in you, like, do you feel sorry for those people, or is you like, dang, they should have really just did their due diligence?
Do I feel sorry for them? I mean, yeah, they died. I mean, but they were doing something risky. They knew. I mean, they knew the stakes as far as I think, right?
Well, one of them was a
Well, the kid, yeah, the
9-year-old
kid, the
kid.
kid.
Outside of the
That's
kid, I
pretty.
don't have
That was
too
pretty sad.
much. I don't want to say too much sympathy, but they know what they were getting into.
And then what about you, Ace? Based off now that you know a little more about some of these events, anything kind of like crazy here, or is it just like in this day and age, nothing's too crazy?
So I mean, it's looking like a pretty goofy year. Nothing crazy, nothing too impactful. This is all very, very.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cap. You're right. That was a good way to put it. None of this is like we're on. No one's gonna remember this 2 months from now.
The crazy thing is something hasn't moved the needle, but we'll touch on it later for July.
That's actually a good point. But nothing wrong with the calm year. Nothing wrong with everyone just focusing on themselves and nothing too crazy happening. No like significant deaths or anything. I guess the moral of the story is let's all pray that we have a safe and sound rest of the year. And let's get into the real topics. What was I about this? I was gonna say the theme, if anyone cares, is gonna be like speaking of like weird, like some weird stuff going on. I know that doesn't really sound like anything, but because we all talk about weird topics on here, but trust me, pull up that first Johnny's. Yes, indeed. All right, so salute to Hollywood Unlocked, salute to Jason Lee. The headline for this: people are shocked. Let's see if we'll be shocked to find out how hotels recycle used soap bars. So yeah, let's actually roll the clip first, so you can see the entire process.
Millions of bars of used soap every week. But they don't have to go in the trash. Runs a factory that can handle thousands of bars an hour. The used soap comes from thousands of hotels around the world, adding up to about 1.4 million rooms. A giant machine called a refiner cleans the dirt and hair from the top layers, pushing out uniform noodle-like strands from all the differently sized bars. Those strands get heated and mixed with a solution of water and bleach for 7 to 8 minutes to sanitize them. A conveyor belt brings the sterilized mix to a final refiner before it gets molded. A long bar of recycled soap rolls out from the extruder as it's cut into individual bars.
Nice. That reminds me of that. What was that show? Where it shows you like how stuff is made.
How it's made.
Oh, fair enough. That's what that reminded me of. Anyway, so a bit more on this story. Social media was recently shocked by a video that revealed what happens to used hotel soap. The video, which gained millions of views on TikTok, showcases the recycling process carried out by Clean the World, a company dedicated to reducing waste and promoting sustainability. In the video, it is shown that used hotel soap is broken down, disinfected, and molded into new bars. The process takes place in a recycling soap factory, although the specific location is unclear. I'm okay. I don't. Maybe just no one's business. The video sparked mixed reactions amongst viewers, with some finding the process unsettling and Ace. Thank you. Unsettling and opting to bring their own soap when staying in hotels. On the other hand, there are some who see this as a smart and environmentally friendly solution to reduce waste and promote hygiene. Hotels around the world throw out millions of used soap bars every week, contributing to unnecessary waste. However, Clean the World has found a way to tackle this issue by recycling these discarded bars. So yeah, a little did you know information. And I guess that's the not the I don't want to say dichotomy. That's the question, essentially. What is y'all's feelings? What is our feelings on this? Like, I mean, obviously, there's basically two sides of the coin. Are you super environmentally friendly and you're super down for this, or are you like, based off this, I'm never touching hotel soap, and this idea is kind of icky. It gives me the ick. We'll start off with you, Ghost. What do you think of this?
I mean, people that are surprised is there's a lot of unsanitary stuff that goes on in relation to hotels. So I don't know what they expected. It's on surface level, it's not too appealing to think about, but as long as they're being cleaned appropriately, then it makes sense. You don't want it all to go to waste. Now, would I use it? Probably
that's the,
not.
that's the bigger question here. If you went to a hotel and they told you right off the bat, hey, this soap was recently used on some other guy's armpits and his crotch, but they recycled it and reused it, would you feel comfortable? I guess they probably wouldn't post. They probably wouldn't post.
Yeah, I would probably bring my own soap regardless. But would this information change my stance if I wasn't opposed to it in the first place? Probably not.
Do you currently bring your own soap to hotels?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
because again, I mean, a lot of the stuff that goes on at home, like, you really think that the hotel they're cleaning stuff
What about
that well?
What about the
Like,
hand soap?
hand soap?
Yeah, like on the sink.
No, that wouldn't have any impact on. I don't think.
So you bring hand soap?
I don't bring hand soap. No, that I would still use a hand soap, to be honest.
Ah, okay.
It's soap. Even if it's dirty, quote unquote, it's clean.
Well, no, that's not how that works. But what about you, Ace? What do you think of the reuse soap? Are you all for it? Or are you like, nah, I'm using my own. I'm not touching that anymore.
I'm definitely good with it. I think I would continue to use it. I am surprised about it. Just because there's a lot of stuff that does get just completely thrown away, and I would have suspected that soap was the same thing. It just get thrown away like food that is over a day old in restaurants or things like that.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
that just all I grouped all that in my mind. I would have thought that was the same for soap, but
That's the next thing they got to do. They got to find out a way to reuse. FDA would probably be a little more interested in how they do that process, but that's neither here nor there. Oh yeah. So what about you, Wes? What do you think of this resoap process? Are you all for it, or are you like, I'm good?
I already knew, and it doesn't bother me none at all.
So you're using the recycled soap, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, as long as it lathers, I don't have a problem.
That's my type of guy.
But I will say I've noticed that more hotels are going to the bottle soap, like the liquid soap, and like they'll mount them on the wall of the shower or whatever, so you can't take it to go, and they just refill the bottle of liquid. And I think that is less wasteful in a way. You probably use more of it, but yeah, I think it is less wasteful. Plus, the idea of putting a bar of soap in a hotel is kind of dumb, because who's gonna go through a whole bar in a stay? Like, you a little bit off the top, and then they would throw it away unless they had a way to recycle it. It's quite a bit of waste.
Yeah, I even though this is like news to some people, I'm also not super surprised by it. I think, where there's an opportunity to make the world a bit more recycle or reuse friendly, people will always try to look towards that. And I guess people realize that there's a industry when it comes to hotel soap. And in general, I'm pro-environmentalist. I think some of these initiatives can be done well. I guess another question is, are you guys like this in all aspects, or are there some things you won't budge on? And I guess,
one second. I'll also say that the product quality, as in the chemical content, is probably not great. That's why I do prefer, sometimes I will bring my own stuff. But sorry, that was an aside.
No, that's fine. I guess that's a good point for why people just use their own in general. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, is there anything that even though there isn't a more an environmentally friendly option, you're not budging on? I I think I'm probably the person that has probably some extreme examples. In case you didn't know, and I guess none. Even if you don't use it, they're still gonna throw it away. But I don't use plastic straws. I don't use toilet paper. What else don't I do? There's a couple of things. Mm, in general, I just like to make sure I'm recycling, but you know, uh, sometimes I'm sure there are some things that I could do better when it comes to recycling. I guess I just kind of spin it back. Is there anything that you do that's maybe not the most environmentally friendly, but you're not budging on? Start with you, Wes, or we'll just spin it back.
Probably, but I can't think of it. I mean, yeah, I don't really insist on straws, although I hate paper straws
Hmm.
as that alternative solution. Um,
But you have a
I'll use it.
but you have a better
Hmm?
solution instead of paper.
Oh, the metal one?
Indoor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
metal works.
Metal straws?
Yeah, you gotta clean them.
So here would be an equivalent for you. Here would be an equivalent if you went to a restaurant and they had a metal straw. Would you use it?
Probably rusty.
Shout
It's stainless
Stainless
steel.
steel.
I feel like maybe. I feel like I have. I mean, we use the silverware. No,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's equivalent, right?
silverware. Yeah, it's a little. I mean, you have to be a little bit. You have to use this pipe cleaner thing
You
Yeah.
to
trust
clean
that
it. but
restaurants are going to be cleaning each individual straw
I
appropriately?
mean,
I don't know. Shine the light into the straw,
Do
maybe.
you trust? Do you trust that they're going to clean each individual piece of silverware?
You can look at silverware and you won't know if it's perfectly clean, but you can see if there's stuff on it. You do that really for a straw, unless you're looking through the hole.
I mean, I think you could argue that the most like when it comes to like bacteria, a lot of the most harmful things is not going to be like it's like there's literally still a piece of chunk of food on your thing, and that's just blatantly like okay, it's not clean, but there could still be some things that the naked eye just can't see. But okay, you said
And on the other side, if they run it through the dishwasher at the high enough temperature, also it should die. But also I think in the numbers scheme, if it was bacteria that's gonna be killing all these people or hurting, at least making all these people sick, I feel like I don't know. I guess I play on the side of I'm probably not gonna be the first person. So if it's been working for that restaurant for any significant amount of time, hopefully, God willing, I'm not a casualty.
and if
But
it makes any better, we're going off based off the assumption that you use a very rigorous disinfecting cleaning process that like kills 99% of germs or whatever they say on hand sanitizer.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I could even put my confidence in restaurants doing that for their dishes. So if I'm gonna go to the restaurant, it's already a certain threshold.
Fair enough. What about you, Ace? Is there anything on the environmentalist side that maybe you could do better, or you do weigh something but you're not budging on it? Or animals?
If there's anything I'm not willing to budge on
Yeah,
at all.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I know you for. I can't think of anything at the top. So maybe you are scot free. And you said, like you said, if you would even use the recycled soap at a hotel. So you seem probably more willing to.
Yeah, I think recycling, like anything that's recycled, I can't recall a time when I've been like, oh, I'm not gonna use that. I do hate the the paper straws as well, but you know, I don't really
Fair
have a
enough.
choice.
Fair enough. Well, you have a choice. You could just not use straws like me. But what about you, Ghost? Anything that you're not the most environmentally friendly on? Anything that you waste that you're not budging on or don't use?
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe the toilet paper, but I mean, I assume that recycled toilet paper is just different types of paper that have been repurposed into toilet paper, and they're not Using.
First of all, no, yeah. How would they be? How could you reuse toilet paper that's already used?
They could find a way.
Jesus, after it's been through the
Toilet
literal
paper.
sewer.
Yeah, toilet
Some
paper is
people
made to
throw it out
dissolve. That
instead
would
of
be
putting it in the toilet.
You're actually right.
What?
Some people, yeah,
Some
I
people
learned.
throw toilet
What,
paper
you
in the
know-
trash can.
I've
Probably the same stance on.
no, you're right. I've seen this on social media. Some people will be like,
wipes are not flushable.
well, they have
No, you
flushable
can't
wipes,
throw
but we're
a
not
toilet
gonna get
They're
it.
not
paper in
flushable.
there.
Exactly what I'm talking about. There's plenty of people that throw the toilet paper in the trash.
Hey, it's people who don't.
I'm
That's
one of them, but
wild. I
What
never
do you,
knew
what do you
that.
want? You saying it's wild with your whole stance on wipes? What's the difference?
Well,
Toilet paper is dissolvable. There's
It's
different
not
standards.
about-
There's a
Okay,
standard.
I'm
for
not
toilet paper.
talking about dissolvable versus non-dissolvable. I'm just talking about the end result is that you have
What is the
the
purpose?
material on the wipes, the same material that would be on the wipes is on the toilet paper. I'm not saying that there's a pepper.
Yeah, but my point is, what is the
Buy it.
purpose?
I'm saying it's a thing.
I
But
think.
why not just flush it?
I think some people just have a policy about they're not going to discard anything in the toilet that's not like little waste or something.
But why?
Very-
But they flush the waste. I don't understand.
Yeah, but
Bro,
things that we excrete from our body are obviously a different thing than things that are produced by.
But it's
Man.
gonna be on the toilet paper.
I don't understand the logic.
Listen, I'm not saying I would. I'm not saying I understand it fully either. I'm just saying people absolutely positively throw their.
I
toilet
shouldn't
paper
say. I
with
shouldn't
waste
say I
on
don't
it.
understand the logic. I just don't
in the-
understand what
in the
would
waste
drive someone to do that.
Story is, if you can, obviously try to be a bit more environmentally conscious. What's the 3 R's? Recycle, reuse, and
Reduce.
reduce. Thank you. Yes. But if nothing else on that particular topic, we can move on to the next joint. Yes. And another day, another. Can you believe this headline? It's a nice. It's not quite Twilight Zone yet, but we're getting there. So, we have a story. Man sues women who only wanted, to remain friends after he wanted a relationship. Yes, you heard that right. So, in Singapore, a Singapore man, should I say a Singaporean? A Singapore man reportedly filed a lawsuit for $3 million. Yes, you heard that right, against a woman after she wanted to remain friends with him despite his wishes for a romantic relationship. Mr. Oh Lord, you know I'm not good with names. Kashingan? Mr. Rashingan met Mrs. Tan in 2016 and began a friendship, but things got a little rocky in 2020 when they realized they had different expectations of the relationships. First of all, it should not take you 4 years to realize two people want different things, but let me say my opinions. Expectations on the relationship. Tan only saw Rasengan as a close friend to whom he confessed his desire for a romantic relationship. However, she told him that he needed to respect. Rasengan sent her a letter threatening to sue her for emotional trauma and defamation, as reported by the Oddity Central. It is definitely an odd story. Last April, Tan filed a harassment suit against him and stopped attending counseling and threatened her with the suit. Spelled, is that how you spell suit in that context? Months later, he filed a court claim and accused Tan of negligence and emotional distress, resulting in costs of therapy programs for losing business partnerships. Oh, so as a result of this, he couldn't work at his full capacity, and that affected his work, and he lost partnerships, I should say. So there you have it. You can, in theory, sue somebody because they don't want to be in a relationship with you. I don't really know where else to go from here besides anyone here think Homeboy got a valid case? Do you think there's a world in which it could potentially make some sense that somebody should receive compensation due to like either like ending a relationship or not wanting a relationship? Come on now, think critically on this. We'll start with you, Ace. What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not thinking critically, but I think this guy is ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, to sue somebody like that's a lot of stuff to consider too. Like being sued, it's just annoying. Like, why is he doing this? This is ridiculous to me. I don't.
I mean, he kind of outlines it. He has emotional trauma from the situation. He received some level of defamation, and he's experienced emotional distress. What's the problem?
He's a baby. Get over it, man. I can't like.
Wow.
I can't
So when a
sympathize.
guy expresses his feelings,
Yes.
he's called a baby.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe somebody else will have a better take, but I can't. Not with this one.
You know what's interesting? You know what this reminds me of? We actually talked about rejection in a previous topic. Maybe he should listen to us. What do you think, Wes? What do you think of this guy who's trying to make a valid case for being not even dumped, but not getting the romantic relationship that he wanted?
I think it's absurd, but I think I think it's absurd, but what do we have a critical piece of information, which is how long this quote unquote relationship lasted?
Well, it's
4
4 years.
years.
It started in 2016, and they came to this not resolution, but not being able to come to a consensus on what they both wanted in 2020.
Okay.
Oh,
That's-
so like some theories into this that aren't specifically stated, but what if, and maybe you might rethink it as, what if for 4 years he had the expectation of that this was going to manifest into a relationship, but now at the end of it or near after that time, now it's like, oh no, actually I only want to be friends, and he spent a certain amount of time, effort, resources, money, attention into this one person. You still don't feel sorry for him? Or actually, before we get to Ace, what do you think, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a sunk cost to it. He didn't have time to deal with anybody else or whatever. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, this is life.
Damn.
I don't know. I feel like these things, they happen. It shapes your character. So I don't know that suing is a healthy response.
Damn. All right, maybe you'll save us, or save him, Ghost. What do you think?
Y'all already know this. I think he's soft as hell. Like Ace said, he's a baby. It happens. Be a man. Get over it. Stop. You're crying and suing her because, like, even if the angle that you were coming from, which is more logical than his reasoning about the sunk cost, and if you spend like money on dates or money on gifts, expecting this relationship to grow into something that it didn't, why aren't you suing her for that amount instead of $3 million? That's
Oh yeah, the $3 million is kind of wild. I'm not gonna cap.
yeah. So there's no justification. Get over it. Reduction sucks, but move on.
Well, actually,
I got.
how do you quantify emotional distress?
I'm sure he was emotionally distressed, but he shouldn't be getting money because of it.
He lost
It's
contract.
part of life.
See, I don't like this because even if we all agree, like y'all aren't providing a good so y'all are just saying, "Oh, man up, that's life." This is not.
Okay,
Get
if
over
we're
it.
gonna
Be
be
one
logical
and
with
be
it, he should not be entitled to any monetary compensation because of his expectation of something that was never put into word. It wasn't a contract. It wasn't anything that was agreed upon and officially. And
There was no written contract.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
there wasn't any monetary value assigned to the value of that relationship, and him just pulling that number out of nowhere feels arbitrary. It feels like BS, and
probably consulted with some level of legal.
the most you possibly can, but you should be asking for it in the first place. So
So
I got nothing.
y'all are telling me I don't have to go through this one by one. How are y'all telling me you're with the home, you're getting older, you're not getting any younger. You're spending all this time getting to know this one person. You know this person better than they know themselves at this point. Y'all talk to each other. What?
I
It
mean,
sounds
if
like
you knew her that
it
well,
sounds like it was a one-sided relationship to whom
Yeah.
he confessed.
but even if you're,
Yeah, no, all right. I mean, yeah, yeah. Let's assume my circumstance, even though we have no basis to go off of. Whether you put all this time, attention, like I said, time, attention, resource, finances. You told your parents, oh, she's the one. You really start to build this life in your head with this person, and then after 4 years, it's not something that was stated after. It's not something that was concluded after a month. It's 4 years, the whole college career. They tell you, nah, let's just be friends. Y'all aren't gonna take it out anymore. Y'all aren't gonna feel any type of way.
hell yeah, I mean,
You're gonna
I'm
feel a type of way.
of course.
That doesn't relate to sue. That doesn't turn
Exactly.
into now I sue them. Like, that's insane.
Okay, so what if how he plans to get over it, or what would help him get over it, is by compensation in the form of $3 million?
You don't get it. Like, that's fine. That would be great. I want $3 million too. Oh, come on, dog.
If that's the precedent that's going to be set, then any person that has a failed relationship getting compensation from the other person.
That's really the base. Entitled some money for a failed relationship. Yes.
No.
You guys are so quick to say that. I get like
Because you don't get into a relationship for money. That's not the point.
So hold on.
It's not like a job or
What? Okay, wait. But on the, I'll play the devil's advocate. I'll go to the other side real quick.
Thank you, somebody.
When you get married and you do have physical, there is a written contract basically. Money is involved at some point if there's any divorce or whatever that comes.
Somebody's gonna have.
So it's not an absurd concept, one, but it's the stage at which they're trying to get this money.
The fact that sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, I was gonna say I know a situation where someone got done horribly dirty, and they were in a 10-year relationship. Now, this relationship had already had discussions about marriage, discussions about getting engaged and all this stuff, and actually the person was at the moment of preparing a proposal for getting the ring and all that, and it was unilaterally terminated by the other party and without any kind of consultation, just kind of like it's over type deal. Now, if anybody was arguing for compensation, it would be a situation like that, because it was, a very high level of disrespect to decide you're terminating with and there was no real cause or justification given after the fact either.
Well, I mean, a part of this guy's lawsuit is defamation, so you can assume there was some level of disrespect in this situation.
And when I say disrespect, I don't necessarily mean that the person was calling him this and that. At the end of the day, the person was saying, decided without any type of conversation, without any type of agreement, just decided to terminate the thing. And I feel like that level of disrespect for someone you've known for 10 years and you're planning marriage for and all this stuff, I feel like that would result in, and can result in some feelings of what, like, I don't know. It's a hit. So it's a closer situation to me. So
you're saying
at least make somebody consider something like this. In this case, it seems like they didn't even get into a relationship. They were not in a relationship necessarily. They were friends, and he was trying to move it to the next step, and she didn't want to. That's what makes this particularly ridiculous to me.
Yeah, but you can't. And I don't want to spend too long because we have other things to discuss. At some point, he expressed that he had the desire for it. So, like, there could, like, no one has any sympathy for this guy that he could have, in theory, been like strung along for a bit.
No. I mean, the way it's written is that at 4 years they had the discussion and realized they have different opinions about where the relationship is going.
Okay, but you can acknowledge that there's no
way
that
both
they
ways.
were just
like
You would acknowledge that there's no way that they could just be buddy for 4 years, and then one day the guy comes up and says, "Hey, 4 years, we've been rocking with each other for 4 years. Hey, let's actually lock in."
The way a lot of these dudes operate, he could have
Exactly.
told
Like, I
her his
don't-
feelings before. She told him, "No, I want to stay friends." He said, "Okay," but still harbored those feelings, and then came back a couple years later and said, "Actually, you know what?"
Yeah, you
No, it's possible. It's possible, but we really don't know. Based on, I mean, given
Based
the
on
information we
what's
have.
written,
But I'm saying Quest scenario is not unthinkable.
it's
That
not
they have had these
unthinkable. But
conversations.
you talking about for this specific scenario?
Yeah.
For this specific guy.
And I do understand what you're saying, Ace. I mean, obviously, we can only put on so many assumptions. At a certain level, we just have to stick to what's here. And obviously, we don't have a lot of facts here. We don't know these people from a can of paint to really understand the full dynamics of it. I'm sure there could be like he could have been like a friend, but he could also have been like a very like.
Either of them could have been unlikable. She could have been manipulated. I don't really even know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously, and it's super obvious. I don't think anyone agrees that that guy should get a single penny. But I can feel some sympathy. I don't know if anyone else in the world can, but I can feel some sympathy. You pour your heart, and that's why. I mean, I should say something like, you know what? I won't get into how a guy should operate. Well, actually, no. I'll say this is why. No, I will say something. This is why men and women can't be friends. Absolutely. I said this to y'all on this podcast. I said this to other people in IRL. It can't happen. Somebody's gonna develop feelings. It can't stay platonic. Don't do it. Yes. But the bigger moral of the story here, and I'll give two moral of the stories. And let's kind of go back to our conversations regarding rejection. Rejection is a part of life. You almost have to experience it just to be able to deal with it properly. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't necessarily speak volumes to you or as you. It just speaks to the fact that you're not. No one on this planet is built to be with everyone, even if you feel that you are. So you just have to accept that and go from it and not feel any contempt for the person that you got rejected from. And the other piece of moral of the story that I would say, a bit more future toxic-ish, to this brother, if I was man to man with them, I would say, there's no point in suing a woman. You're never going to win this. The best way to get over one woman, I think you know the rest.
Thought you were gonna say she belongs to the streets.
No. Again, we don't know this woman from Can of Paint. She could be she could be super cool. But anyway, if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next joint. All right, we're actually almost halfway through, I think. Ramping up on the weirdness. If you think you've seen it all, well, yeah, you haven't seen this.
What?
Yes, this headline reads, man steps out for his first walk in public after spending $20,000
This is disturbing.
to transform himself. I told you this is definitely some Black Mirror type stuff. Transform himself into a dog. And if you're looking at this picture, you're saying, okay, well that does look like a real dog. Let's see how it looks in video form.
I'm disturbed.
I don't know if I want to see this.
I'm disturbed. I'm actually disturbed.
Good boy! Amazing! One more time? Yeah, cool, buddy. Thank you. Be careful. Are you good?
This is horror. This is stuff of horror. The other dogs know. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, you really got to see it to really understand it. I don't think there's any verbal cues that really give this. Anyway, and speaking of bizarre, and a truly bizarre move, a Japanese man. I don't want to speak anything on Japanese people, but this doesn't surprise me. By the name of Toko recently spent a staggering $20,000 to transform himself into a border collar. Yes, you heard that right. He actually became a dog. Toko achieved an extraordinary feat by purchasing a hyper-realistic dog costume created by a Japanese company called Zeppet. So if anyone's interested, after spending 40 days crafting this what's that word?
Intricate.
Disguise. Toko finally had the opportunity to step out into the world as a dog and take his first ever walk in public. Filming his experience in his official YouTube channel, of course, this guy's a YouTuber, Toko ventured out into the streets, fully embracing his newfound identity. Some of the other canines didn't look like that to me. Past buyers and their furry companions were captivated by Toko's realistic appearance and lifelike features in the costume and realistic movements to those of an actual dog. It's almost as if they couldn't tell that he was, in fact, a human was in disguise. In written notes explaining the unusual transformation, Toko revealed his desire to become a dog had been with him since childhood. Of course it did. Perhaps fueled by a deep admiration for these loyal and playful creatures, he longed to experience life from this perspective. By hiding his human identity, Toko hoped to avoid the judgment and scrutiny that often accompanied unconventional choices.
Who wrote this? This is like an AI wrote. What the hell?
God, yeah. While some may find Toko's decision perplexing and even absurd, it is important to remember that individuality comes in many forms. That's a fact. But we still here to make content after all. I don't even know if there's a question in all this. Honestly, seeing this,
My question is, what did he do to his legs?
I
We're
don't
not
want to
built
know.
like that.
I actually
It
don't
sounded
want
like
to
he
know.
just spent the money on the costume. I don't think there was any surgical.
Yeah, but we're not built like that. If you get down on all fours,
You
you don't
can't
look
walk
like
like that.
like with your feet on the ground. That
I
don't
don't
make
even
sense.
want to watch it again.
hey man, if you practice something long enough, you can be built for it.
Nah,
It's
where's the rest of his
essentially
leg?
crawling, kind of. He just has his arms real close to his chest, I'm assuming. And the costume probably figured.
Where's the leg? No, the anatomy's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Something's not right in there.
and the costume's like specifically built, so maybe they built it in a way that he's like maybe it's like driving a mech. You never know.
Oh, like the legs are tucked, and then there's
Listen,
feet that
I'm
move
not
themselves.
finna come on here and try to explain this. I'm here to ask y'all about it. Yeah. What do we
Something, I don't know.
What do we make it? What do we make of this? How are y'all for like they said individuality being as individual as
Sorry.
individuality being like being in whatever somebody wants it to be, or do you think at a certain point maybe we should I don't know, limit some of this stuff? I don't know.
No, this is nonsense. If he wanted to be a mascot, he could do it as a little game or a gig. This is weird.
Okay, say what you
Or
said.
if he wanted to play in a movie or something.
What about you, Ace? It seemed like you already kind of formalized your.
I'm literally
Disgust.
disturbed. Like I'm going to have nightmares because of this. It's like that movie, Tusk, where they turn homeboy into
watched
a
that?
walrus. Yeah.
Spoiler, gosh. Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah, that was a
Probably.
major spoiler. Yeah. This is absolutely like this would trigger my fight or flight, and I'd probably kick him or something and then run. Like it.
Okay, but if you just saw this dog on the street, you wouldn't think it's a human.
No, I would. I don't know.
I don't think it's
Something seems off, and I think I would.
Uncanny.
Yeah, it doesn't. No,
It's
see,
uncanny.
Yeah, it actually
I
no,
can see it,
yeah.
You
Hell
see
no.
it move?
Hell no.
No.
Not with that little leg movement. I'd be like,
Even if it's not a human, I'd be like, something's
disabled.
I'm
yeah,
gone.
exactly. It looked disabled.
No,
Yeah,
no.
dogs don't move like that. They don't. Yeah, nuh-uh.
Maybe the foot is folded and
Look at this guy just trying to figure it
Nah,
out.
stop trying to figure it out.
Wait, I know we don't want to watch it, but did the tail wag at all? Did anyone notice that?
that's what I was wondering too.
Oh my gosh, we really.
Nah, it looks like it's along for the ride. It doesn't look mobile.
Yeah, that static tail would bother me. What about you, Ghost? Are you all for anyone being literally whatever they want?
This is extremely disturbing, and I don't condone it, but I look at it the same way as furries, where it's I want nothing to do with it, but it's I see them and I walk in the other direction, but they do what they do.
I've never seen a furry.
In real life?
No, I haven't seen anyone.
You know what's crazy?
Like,
you know what's crazy?
It's like the same concept to me.
Obviously, that's more of a thing that you probably find at a convention, probably a specific kind of convention. There was a somebody doing that type of activity at one of the concerts we were at.
What?
Really?
Yeah, right down in
Hartford.
Yes, not
Really?
not to get too specific. Somebody was.
You sure it wasn't just a mascot?
I'm telling you, it was a bit more. They weren't mascotting anything. It was definitely furry.
Oh, wait a minute though. I've seen like they had some little parade thing going on one year, and there were a few people in costume, but it doesn't sound like what you were saying.
Oh shoot, I have seen a furry. Yeah, but no, I do have, or I should clarify, I guess, that I'm not extrapolating this out to any degree as far as like people's choice to be individuals in general. I'm talking about this specifically is extremely disturbing to me. Like I can't, if I saw somebody in a furry costume, it's not gonna trigger me like this video is triggering me. Like this is.
Yeah, this is definitely a bit extra. All right, well, I mean, you know what really tests how understanding you are. Say this young, I don't know if it's a young man. I don't know why I'm putting that on him. Say this individual is a friend of yours. And
immediately for much longer.
Okay, so that's the question. A feeling, this long feeling that they want to, be a dog, or I guess any other animal. What would be your reaction? Let's see who here, is really accepting. What did you take up the matter goes?
I mean, he can do what he wants, and that's his decision. But I don't want to be around anyone like this. It's disturbing.
Damn.
We have to go our separate ways.
Damn. Ace, you seem to not be on board with this, but what if this was a friend of yours?
I agree with Ghosts. Like, we're not friends anymore, dog.
Y'all are not cutting off the friend because he wants to get the cab out of here.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
So what are you gonna say? He says, I can't.
Dog, I'm legit disturbed. Like I can't. There's no getting around that. This is a visceral reaction.
You're not gonna.
I can't be. I literally can't be friends with you. Like.
But we've been friends for 4 years.
I want to hurt this thing. Like there's no getting around that.
You not like me, or you not like dogs?
Dog.
You're not a dog. That's the whole point.
Okay, you never dressed up in a costume before, or something you weren't?
Yeah, you can go ahead and dress up in a furry costume. You take it this far.
I guess we're not good examples of that, but. So you're telling me you're willing to throw away this friendship, this bond that we built just because I want to be a dog?
Yeah. I don't want to be a friend with a dog. Like, what?
Bro?
Man's best friend? You don't want to be friends with that?
The devil go, come on. I know you're trying to do it. Nah, it's not going to work this time.
Right. I thought Ace was a bit more accepting, but...
No.
Okay. Wes, what about you? Your friend wants to be a dog. What are you telling me?
We're not going in public. You're not... I'm not... No.
Okay, so
you can text me.
Okay,
you can call me. Maybe
this is progress. When they're not being a dog, they can still interact with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going in public with that.
Wait, you mean public when they're a dog or?
They're in dog form.
Okay.
They're in dog form.
I'm kind of rolling with Wes. Actually, I would actually bring the brother on the podcast. I need to understand the life and mind of somebody.
I ain't been on that episode.
I need to understand what, like, Do
I'm
you
glad
also
he's
want to?
Japanese and probably doesn't
That's gonna be
speak
a
English.
one-on-one interview, not no
Do you
podcast.
do you also want to like eat like a dog, like bay like a dog? Like, what is it about doghood that
Why do
makes
you
you
want
so?
to know more about the situation? I want to know.
Because
I
I am a
still
man
want
of
to
understanding.
know.
I like to understand the understandable. Understandable? The not ununderstandable. Listen, I
I
have
think it's gonna
questions.
go a lot deeper and a lot farther than you want it to.
I don't know if this brother speaks English, but yeah, he has a YouTube channel. I want to be an animal. I'm getting in contact. I don't know about y'all. I don't know what y'all talking about. But yeah, the moral of the story is, you definitely have the right to be whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But that doesn't mean everybody's gonna be cool with it, depending on how disturbing it is. Which I do admit, when I saw this thing, I was like, that is some like weird animatronic type joint going on.
Yeah, Uncanny Valley. Let's put it best. Can't get past that. Fucking
But
hell. Literally the scariest thing I've seen like in a long time.
you know what's even scarier to some people than a human dog? The what do they call it? Something from another kind? What? How do they describe a being from another our neighborhood? Aliens. What do we think?
Terrestrial.
Yes, yes. Aliens have been in the news yet again. Pull up the next stories.
This is funny.
Like, it seems just to be a recurring topic. Probably been literal something since humans have existed, and it's like we never get any closer. But maybe this is like definitive like evidence, or definitive like we're about to get it. A former U.S. intelligence official, they're always a former. Isn't that interesting? Official claims that the U.S. government is in possession of non-human biologics recovered from a UFO crash site. Let's hear what they had to say at this hearing.
Craft stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human is still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha.
See how we never can get the full like
That's why, man. Nobody gonna believe.
Just give us we never can get even a glimpse. We can't get a shape. We can't get a nod of nothing. But anyway,
a monkey.
So it's the shade room. Former Air Force intelligence officer David Grouch claimed that the U.S. government conducted a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. David says the government first became aware of non-human intelligence back in the 1930s. So this is literally almost a century old, by the way, and we're only now getting to this. Anyway, David, who was previously tasked with investigating UAPs, said he was informed of the alleged program through his official duties but was denied access to additional information. He is accusing the military of misappropriating funds in order to guard these operations from congressional oversight. During the hearing, David told lawmakers that he was absolutely certain the government had non-human crafts in their possession. This feels like, should we even be talking about this? This feels like not safe for work. But obviously this is like full everybody has this information at this point. And that non-human biologics were also recovered. He says that he obtained this information after conducting 40 extensive interviews from high-level intelligence officials. In a statement released last month, the Pentagon said they haven't found any verifiable information to substantiate claims that any program regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed in the past or exist currently. So basically, homeboy is saying, "Hey, they got the UFO. They re-engineered it. They found life in it, but it seemed like the officials are saying we don't know nothing about that." And I think we've talked about aliens on here before. It's just like the oldest topic in the book. But me and Wes actually did have a rather interesting conversation about it, which is why it even sparked my interest in it again. And I probably should have just shut that up, because that was really good content, really good conversation. But it kind of just more so led into like whether we believe it or like what do we think it looks like. More so, why would we talk about what it could look like? It kind of moved into like the realm of like, because my initial question is whenever I see stuff like this is like, well, obviously I love a good conspiracy theory. What is the overall rationale for why this information can't be public? Like usually when it comes to information that the government is trying to conceal, it has to not have to be, but it's usually a case of national security. This information being out would put the U.S. People at harm. But when we think of aliens, especially aliens that, if it's been years, they're either like no longer alive, like if it's just like it won't really. It's not a lot like we know aliens are coming to get us. It's not that. It's not that scenario. And obviously, Wes brought up some actually really interesting points. And I guess maybe you can go first, but I guess the question is in general. I guess one more time for the people. Do you care about the topic, the study, research, anything pertaining to aliens? And do you think it makes sense for the government to hide this information? Or do you think it should be all in the open? Like I said, you can go first, but I mean, we had a whole conversation. We can just give like the summarization of your feelings towards this type of topic, Wes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't generally think that uh but and also a little bit fatigued by the topic, noting how this is not, well, I shouldn't say it's not super publicized, because it kind of is, but I think the level of interest of certain people is kind of wane, or at least the seriousness with which we take all these
Not
claims.
after this story.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe some people react a different way, but for me, I'm just like, okay, well, give us something more concrete, because they've been saying stuff for years. But and I mean, this is high profile, but again, what are we gonna do with this information? Keep pressing them. Tell us when you have a new development. When we see some pictures or something. But I was just thinking, like, to play the game, it's like, if there was this information, if this information is true, what does someone like me have to do with the information, and what would be the benefit of them telling me, if they really thought that they had to do some research and things and all this stuff, and there was some national security interest, they're to choose people that are qualified to do whatever they're going to do. Well, alerting the public is probably just going to cause a whole lot of nonsense, a whole lot of panic, a whole lot of craziness, because we already had craziness, people trying to storm Area 51, all this stuff, before there was any type of hearing or whatever.
It feels, by the way, or it just feels, to be honest.
Yeah, so like, from their perspective, from a government perspective, it makes sense. I'm not shocked that they would hide information that they haven't fully gone through or whatever. They don't want to be harassed by the public, et cetera, et cetera. Also, the fact that there's multiple governments in the world. If somebody wants to weaponize something, they have to be abreast of it, and they have to deal on a certain level. So yeah, the fact that there is concealment is not crazy. The only argument for release of information to the public and all that is if the public feels that they want to direct some of the research or anything like that through voting, through legislation, or not legislation, well, like local government, and having a say in where funds go and how the government deals with things, then it has to be public information. Other than that, there's a lot of people who probably just want to know, just the curiosity of man, like, and which I'm not saying I don't have, like, it would be interesting to know, but at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, most of the people who are making a big fuss about it, most of the average people who are making a big fuss about it, not really gonna move the needle one way or the other if you know and the government doesn't want anything to do with you anyway in regards to this program.
Hmm. Yes, all that, and you made some really good points. Even though I did have contention with some of those points. But before I get into that, what do you think about this, Ghosts? Are you aliened out, or do you continually think about aliens and things of that nature? And do you think it makes sense for a government to hide information about it?
I mean, I don't know if I'd say I'm aliened out because it is interesting that this is a lot more official than some other previous I don't want to say proof, but discussions that have been had about it. But it's this could mean something or it could mean nothing, and I don't know what the truth is. And until we have definitive proof, kind of like what Wes is saying, answer either way, then I guess then we can talk about it. Well, then I'll care about it, I should say. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, and then as far as the government angle and why they would want to hide it, I mean, the government wants to hide stuff from everyone, so I don't know. Even if it's not even if there's a sentient, uh, any proof of sentient alien life that could have a positive or negative benefit for us. I mean, they're not going to tell the American public because we don't need to know. Like again, what Wes is saying, what am I going to do if they confirm? Oh yeah, by the way, there's aliens. We've been in communication with them for 50 years. It doesn't impact my life at all unless like there's some technological advancements or something. But I don't know. It'd be curiosity and not much else. I think just because they don't have to, and it's people. Some people would panic, even if it's like, oh, these are the most harmless aliens ever, and like even this news probably had some people panicking. So it's government wants to maintain status quo generally, so it doesn't surprise me that they want to hide anything about this type of stuff.
So that is an angle that you could have on it, and I think some people do kind of have that of like we're just kind of used to the government hiding things, so they're not really pressed about it. But the thing is, like I mentioned, when it comes to things that are kept like secure, it usually does have to do with some type of national security. Like that's going to be the primary reason. So when you think about that, and you can also think of it like this: if a government scientist discovered a new plant or like a new species of bird, that information is not going to be hidden. It's not going to be kept under wraps. It's going to be like published in some, like science magazine. Like it's going to be information like pretty soon. Like, oh, we discovered this is amazing. So the fact that they would keep it under wraps leads, like the most logical conclusion is that it is a threat to national security, whether that be the fact that there's a new type of technology that's been discovered that's could be harmful to somebody. So doesn't that like raise some like a level of alarm either way? Because if you're hiding it, there's a reason you're hiding it. So you're gonna raise panic and concern either way.
Well, there is a reason they hide it, but I think like if we're talking about a new species of birds that has been discovered, what they care about is how people are going to react to it. And most people aren't going to care. And even if they do care, there's not going to be really any panic that's associated with it. Anything alien, even if it's not like harmful to us, even if it's not like anything that we've seen in media that's shown to be impactful to us in a negative way, people are still gonna panic people are still gonna have some type of negative reaction, even if we have no information about it. That's just because how people are wired with alien stuff, and if it's different and we're not familiar with it, then
if this hypothetical existed where they've found aliens but they're completely harmless or dead, they're completely harmless. They have like they completely come in peace. There's no issues. They're just basically like another animal. Maybe they're intelligent. Maybe they're not. You think that would people would have a genuine panic about that?
100%, yes, because it would be like the first verified definitive proof that there is alien life and it's been acknowledged, and it'll open up the can of worms. Like, okay, even if this one species is dead or isn't going to harm us, who's to say there's not another one that will? And to this point, there hasn't really been anything to like trigger that initial the initial confirmation. So once I think like once that happens for the first time, it will be the most significant, even if it's not something that would impact us, just because again, you have to have that proof.
So it like opens the door for, even if this initial like being or whatever, this initial information isn't a problem, people are going to be thinking about what's the next thing.
Or they'll be thinking, if this was covered up or if this wasn't acknowledged, then what about my other random conspiracy theory that they yeah.
But I mean, you could make the argument that you kill all conspiracy theories by being as transparent as possible. Like, don't you think you fuel conspiracy theories by being so secretive?
Yeah, you could make that argument, but it's kind of too late for them to reverse course. They've been doing it for so long at this point.
Yeah, that's facts. Okay. What about you, Ace? Last but not least, what do you think about the whole discussion about aliens, and do you think it makes sense that the government hides it? Would you, if it was up to you, would you like the government to just come out with it and say what's the real?
Yeah, as far as my views on like evidence so far in general, I don't believe that we have any evidence to like, or at least I've never seen any evidence that has made me believe that there.
So you don't believe in aliens?
No, not necessarily. I don't believe in aliens, but that the government has alien technology or have built UFOs based on alien technology, have aliens at Area 51, any of that stuff. Like,
so you think this guy's tweaking?
Yeah, probably. It could be. I think he's supposed to be like a whistleblower or something, right? Former intelligence official. Like,
yeah, it said that he was a former Air Force. If you go back to the top, it said just Air Force intelligence officer. So we don't know what that fully entails, but he was in the military.
yeah. I mean, anybody can have reason to say any type of nonsense. And again, like if you have pictures, dog, maybe, but you don't have anything. You're just doing the same thing that I mean, I will give that it's somebody, on a high level of whatever government, but still.
Yeah, some level of credibility.
Yeah, but still, at the end of the day, he's doing what everybody else has done for the past how many years now? Say stuff, but not provide any lick of proof. So it is getting frustrating to me. Like it's to the point where I don't really care. Like, unless I see proof, I'm not even entertaining the thought that. But yeah, the discussion about whether the government should hide these things. That Wes brought up some great points that I never really considered, and Ghost elaborated on them, and I guess I am in agreement that like I can definitely understand the potential for mass panic or whatever if proof of aliens is finally like made known to the public, and even it doesn't even have to be a 99% positive. The government is 99% positive that people are going to panic and XYZ is going to happen. It's that given that there is a risk, there's no reason for them to take the risk and tell people, like keeping people in the dark if they do have these things.
So sorry to cut you, but so that is obviously a point to it. Like, there's no risk in keeping it under wraps. But the thing is, and what we're kind of talking about is, and he kind of even brought it up, like, it is like the concept of man. Like, we constantly want to know things. So if there, it's almost like the reasoning has to be risk is involved, because if it's not a matter of risk, then why are we trying to inhibit man's innate nature to want to learn more?
I don't. Oh, so you're saying like risk as far as there must be technology that
They got to know that these aliens came for blood and they just crapped out. It's like some Dragon Ball Z. They sent Goku, but something happened where Goku or Kakarot. I'm getting kind of deep, some anime references here, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, but they don't have to tell people all that.
We are the risk.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's just people that they're more concerned with.
Imagine too if it's a unilateral government, like a one government that says, "Oh, we have this," and it gets over to some other country.
But y'all understand what I'm saying though, like you can't stop man from wanting to know.
You can't, but I mean that's not a problem for them. Like people wanting to know hasn't been a problem.
They don't care about that.
But it gets into conversation, and this is kind of, I didn't even expect to talk about this, but it kind of blends into the conversation. Are you cool with that? Like, are you cool with do you think that a government should be able to limit the information that essentially man can know?
I think I am. I don't really think I care that much.
It's like on an individual level. I mean, yeah, there's a societal level where there should be an amount of stuff that the society does not abide and protest against or whatever. On an individual level, if it's not messing with me and my family, it's gonna be hard to get me to go protest or go fight the government on something.
So that sounds good, but think of like the
That's not aliens.
meta matrix version of what you're saying. You're okay with the power above you controlling and having having full control of what you know and what you don't know.
Yeah, more extreme than it is because
that's what it is.
I don't. These aren't things that are. I mean, it's hard to say. Like when you don't know what you don't know, you don't like it. There's no way to quantify.
But you have a desire to know all that you can, right? As much as you can.
Sure, I guess, but
we're not even close.
Exactly. There's so much other stuff that I can.
Like, what if we were in class? Like, we were in class, and I was the teacher, and we were reading a textbook, and once we got to chapter 9, I said, "Everyone, give me the textbooks." And I'm not giving you any. I'm just saying, nope, you can't know what's in this chapter. You're cool with this. You're cool with that. A life like that.
That's not life, though.
Well, I'll let Ace answer because,
You're I feel like this is a false equivalency. It's just, if I don't know that I don't know something, it does not affect my brain in any way. Like, there's still so much that I can learn that this is just a blip. Like, if I'm worried about if there's aliens, I can go. I don't even have to, like, the government doesn't have to even give me the answer. There's still other stuff I can research, things I don't have to have this definitive proof from the government when they might not even have it anyway. Like, it's just, it's an unknown that I'm just putting away. I don't care unless you're going to show me. I'm not thinking about it.
But if they don't have anything, why wouldn't they just say it?
That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, that is a that's a rebuttal to the question of why would they hide it? But as far as how I
Wait,
feel
hold
about
on,
them hiding it,
If somebody said to you, I think you have a secret Corvette somewhere, parked somewhere, hidden in a storage container in Iowa. Why don't you give us the information about this secret Corvette? Tell us. And you say, I'm not doing this. Like, leave me alone. I feel like that's the kind of conversation.
That's a false equivalency because
Yeah.
it's different between going and bothering some random stoner about some information and the literal government that you elect into office, the government that's supposed to serve
But
for
I'm
the benefit
saying,
of the people.
if they say we have no information on this, leave us alone. It's like people are still gonna insist, and if they truly don't have anything, they would just be like, why are you bugging us about this foolishness?
Because the government's been proved to be liars for.
Which is true. No, I mean, I have no doubt that they have
You
documentation.
guys are just putting your full trust in the government.
I'm not putting my trust. Like
this is. It's just like, the question is, am I gonna fight the government or no? The answer is no, unless it's something that affects me, my family, like my livelihood, being able to.
We have your answer, and I do feel
aliens affect your life, your livelihood. There's an alien invasion coming in the next year.
What am I gonna? I mean, okay, stockpile some food. I mean, what?
Anything number of stuff could end the world in the next year.
Yeah, to be honest,
I think we all have this conception that we are the hero in the story, and it's like, if that happened, we are an extra in the film. Like, we're not. I don't know, like, and I'm. It's not to say that I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do everything I can, but like, the knowledge is not. I mean, how much is that gonna do for it? Really?
Post about it on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Fair enough. I guess just to make sure we get everyone's consensus. But yeah, what about ego? So you are cool living in a world where the government controls exactly what you know and what you don't know? That's what it boils down to. If you say you don't
exactly,
care.
You said exactly, and I think that's the issue.
Considering the circumstances of this world, yeah, because I'm not. It's not even that I can't control anything. It's the fact that this world ain't gonna last. So it's there's gonna be all manner of foolishness, corrupt stuff that the government does, and stuff they keep hidden, and stuff they control, but it ain't the end game.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, I mean, and it's also like we have access to more information than we can ever know. But you're saying because they limit one item, that now
a big item in potentially.
Yeah, but it's like taking one off of infinity. Like, okay, I mean, or even taking 1,000 off infinity.
Yeah, exactly. In this case, it would be a
It's like we don't have the capacity to deal with what we have. So, I mean, it's not like you'll be an unfulfilled person if you don't know this one fact before you die. I mean, it's a big deal, and curiosity is a thing, and it would be nice if everybody got to know and everybody got to indulge that curiosity. But is it the end of the world if we don't? Not really. I mean, I shouldn't phrase it that way, because hypothetically, if these are aliens, it could be, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Until that point, it's like, all right, well, we'll be all right.
And fair enough. Honestly, my apologies to anyone that's coming here to hear like a alien conspiracy theorist like view on the matter. It's not going to be here. I think all of us really just don't care. We have bigger fish to fry in our lives, and for our focus is not going to be on something that just some guy said something, and one guy took a photo that looks like he took it with the PlayStation Portable. It's like, give us the facts, sir. We got bigger things to worry about.
I do want to clarify too that this isn't to say that I don't like thinking about aliens in general, or don't like, you know, the mental exercise of thinking about if there could be aliens, why there's not, or why we don't have any definitive evidence of contact or things like that. Like, I love thinking about it, but as far as, you know, stuff in the media where all of a sudden people think we got alien technology, the government is hiding it, or they're not showing us, or whatever. I don't like. That's what I don't care about. Like,
Yeah, like some of
the
the real world logistics of it and what we potentially have. Yeah, I can see that. I guess this is one of the last point. I do kind of find it interesting about how y'all are okay with that type of government, which, if you wanted to kind of get political with it, which I never do, but the type of government that's going to be more inclined to be in control of what information is available and not available, that sounds kind of like a socialist government, if you were to ask
Here we go.
me. But
never told you what government that I would want to be under or what I'm okay with or anything like that.
Yeah, because we don't talk about politics here, but you know, that gives an insight. Give me an insight. That's what it does.
No, I disagree with that.
Fine with a monarchy.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really betray what type of government it is, to be honest.
We can real quick dive into that because how do you rebut that? A government that, again, I'm not even equipped enough to speak on what a socialist government looks like. With a government that literally just dispenses all type of information. I guess I'd be more like a libertarian, like there's no government. I'm not equipped, but I think just based off what we all know from like what other governments do, and we all run Animal Farm here. So how do you dispute that?
Because we're talking about one piece of information.
No. It broadens out. If you're okay with the government being,
if you have a government, a government will have to conceal or will find the need to conceal something or some things from the people.
Things that have to do with security or that could harm the people.
Exactly, but when if it mushrooms out, Like they're always gonna have control. I mean, they're always gonna control something.
I think there's a big difference between controlling information that's of national security. So if other governments or other people can find out about
all
information,
they have to do is justify it being for national security, and they can do it. Which they can do with almost anything if they spin it right. So
I don't know if people agree with that. Again, I give some examples. If they find a new species of plant or something that's like innocuous, like if they dig deeper if they go further into the ocean and they find a new type of fish, or they find they just find out some new information, they're not going to conceal that.
Okay. What?
So you don't know that.
Exactly. You don't know that. Like, what if they go into the depths of the ocean, like we were talking about, and find something for whatever reason they consider a national security risk? Like,
okay.
Nessie? They can pin that on anything.
Oh, shoot,
like,
you're right. Yeah.
They can pin that on anything.
Well, first of all, the Loch Ness Monster is not a national security threat. But anyway.
What if they found out proof that Bigfoot exists?
Again, Bigfoot hasn't hurt nobody for centuries. He's not hurting nobody anytime soon. And he's...
it's not hard to spin a national security argument.
What I'm trying to... Funny. What I'm trying to say is, okay, if something's a threat to national security, just like how when it comes to like military insights and like weapons that we have and don't have, we can understand. It's clear to see why we don't want that information being known by everybody. It's clear to see. Another species, you gotta.
What if they found a dragon, bro? A dragon.
All right, y'all. Okay.
Come on,
all right. Next topic. Next, because y'all got it.
No, like seriously, that's a perfectly valid scenario.
No, or if they just it doesn't even it's not hard to conceive of that they find a reason. It doesn't even necessarily need to be national security. Again, most of the time people are the problem. It's other nations. It's people of this of these of the US or whatever country you're in. It's the people. If you tell people, let's go facetious and say, okay, Bigfoot is real and Bigfoot is, I don't know, in X state or whatever. Now you got tons of people going and messing up the environment to go find Bigfoot and doing all kind of nonsense. Like, or you tell people the Leviathan is here in this part of the ocean. You got people going on and polluting and going in the ocean and
If you tell
droves.
people the
More
Leviathan
submarines.
is here, then
Like, it's
the apocalypse.
I mean, like you're going to create some kind of national/international sensation, which probably is more headache than it's worth.
So
Like,
while
you can make that
while
argument.
we agree, what you are saying is that it is better for man to not know some things because man will lead to their own destruction. Basically, what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when
I
you
agree.
run a country, when you run a government, you have an obligation to keep some level of peace, and you want to withhold it. I don't think that's a crazy concept to grasp. That's all I'm saying.
So we're saying the same
On a
thing. You
personal
believe
level,
that you believe that a government has to protect man from themselves.
I believe that is the role of government,
Okay.
or a role of government.
Yeah, a rule. Okay. Listen, y'all know my thoughts when it comes to socialism. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I am more objectivity based, and if I don't see the proof, I mean, this guy's definitely sounds compelling. But again, you gotta show something, bro. So I guess I'm sure we'll be back here in like another year when they say, oh yeah, now we've actually seen the height of the alien. There's gonna be another parcel of information. Anyway, there's nothing else regarding aliens or those of another kind. We can move on to the last one. Yes, last but not least, we dove into the world of aliens and animal humans. You know what the animal thing, the dog thing reminded me of? Y'all remember those books? I don't remember the name of it. Where like the kids were transforming into animals, and you see it on the cover. Animals, yeah.
Yo,
yeah.
that series book series was amazing, bro. That shit was top tier.
Really?
Yes,
Uh,
it was
yeah.
so. Not if
I
y'all
remember
haven't
reading
read
that.
it,
No,
it's
I remember
actually
reading
like I might even read it now. Like
I'm not an avid book reader.
I read a few, and
they had
they're
some
probably
adult,
not gonna hold up, bro.
Yeah, those
I'm
books
sorry
were
to
for
say.
bro. Those
children, ghosts.
they were talking about genocide. Nah, bro, those books were.
Oh,
great.
maybe they were made
I
for
think
kids.
you should read them. I think you should check them out again and report back. Interested.
Were they made for kids? You got them
I mean, they were
at
for
book
kids,
fairs.
but there were some very adult themes in it. Not in
Oh.
a bad sense, but
All I know
those.
is, to be honest, I've been feeling what you felt about watching that video for a long time. Is because those book covers were always kind of like a bit weird to me. But
Yeah,
anyway,
book covers are trash, but
we're done talking about weird stuff. Wait, what'd you say?
I love those book covers. I don't really.
I'm not saying they were bad. I'm just saying they were a little weird to me sometimes. Because like I really imagine that like in real life, what it would look like. It wouldn't be like Beast Boy transformation. It would be like it would look kind of weird to see a human transform into an animal. Regardless, we talked about all the weird stuff. Now let's talk about some real life stuff. And I think we talked about we all talk about happiness and best way to live a life and things of that nature. And now we have, according the top 10 worst and best days to live, according to what is this? Oh, CNBC. And I guess I'll read a little bit of it. Pardon me. CNBC released their study titled "America's Top States for Business." Interesting. Per the publication, the list considers how welcoming each state is to workers and their families. Taking into consideration the studies are 10 categories of competitiveness, including life, health, and inclusion. CNBC noted that this year, with the nationwide worker shortage being so severe, that they were super dialed into categories of life, health, and inclusion when conducting their study. Additional categories factored in including crime rates, environmental equality, and healthcare. The publication researchers also look at the quality and availability of healthcare, which helps get parents back on their feet and back into the childcare. Back on their feet in the workforce. Before getting into the list, which states do you think made the number best to live and work in? And which states and worse to live and work in. According to the Democratic North Carolina. Oh, sorry, that gets into like some of the who won, who's. So we'll go through it. What do we want? What do we want? The worst ones or the best ones first? Well, we're already on the worst ones.
Worst.
No surprising, at number 10 we have Florida. But actually, that's actually not bad compared to the fact that there are 9 other states that, according to this study, is the worst. I guess to
one. But go ahead.
I guess to give a little of the insight, it's kind of. Is it possible to zoom in on that, Ace? If not, it's fine. Oh, nice, you can. As the governor is tweaking with his war on woke. Many companies consider the economy. I'm trying to get to the good stuff. Florida is also the most difficult states to vote in. So if you are very you care about voter rights, they kind of make it tough there. Politics that make Florida not so great. At number 9, they have Arkansas.
Hold on, can you scroll down a little? Oh, you can't see the little summary.
Oh,
Little summary of strength and weakness,
Is there
but it's too
more?
long. I guess it's cut. No, I think it's just,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah. Florida. Well, you just assume that Florida has all weaknesses. Arkansas is at number 9, and yeah, I guess just looking at the strengths and weaknesses. The weaknesses of Arkansas is crime, which is crazy to me. Inclusiveness, reproductive rights, healthcare. They have good air quality. Let's see.
Arkansas. Yeah, I know.
At number 8, you have Tennessee. Whoa, what is going on in Tennessee? It seems like people are complaining that their laws regarding LGBTQ plus is kind of not fair. Well, it is what it is. At number 7, you have what is that? Indiana. It's like all the Midwest places. They have fewer than 10 licensed healthcare facilities. That's in the state. That don't seem right.
Shocking. What?
So they're really tweaking when it comes to the childcare system.
Sorry,
So,
which state is that?
Tennessee.
Indiana.
No.
Indiana.
Oh, and Indiana. Sorry, I should just let Ace do it. Keep going. Then at number 6 we have Missouri. Apparently they're miserable there. They have some abortion laws that's bringing it down. The air quality is good. It'd be like the air quality be good. Like the better the air quality, the lower it is. But when it comes to weaknesses, voting rights, reproductive rights, and crime, a lot of places have bad crime, which I never knew. Interesting. We have a tie for number 4 with Alabama and South Carolina. Alabama is one of America's unhealthiest states, which is the fourth highest rate of premature deaths. Jesus. And is the most difficult state to vote in. With no in-person early voting? Dang. Even I would probably be pissed at that. And also South Carolina is pretty bad. It is an unhealthy state, both at home and on the job. The state is the nation's 5th highest rate of occupational death. Jesus Christ, what's going on in South Carolina? And it finishes at top 10 in the frequency of physical and mental distress overall. Dang, so if you have depression or something going on mentally with you, you may want to move out if you live in South Carolina. What else we got? At number 3, we have Louisiana, so to New Orleans. With 76 licensed healthcare or childcare facilities in the state of 4.6 million people. So obviously, no state does worse than Louisiana in its increasingly important quality of life metric. So yeah. Oh my gosh. When it comes to strength, they have no metric in the top 25. So they don't exceed in anything. And their weaknesses include childcare, crime, reproductive rights. At number 2, we have, what is that, OKC? Not OKC, but Oklahoma? Is that what's number 2? Yeah, Oklahoma. Overall health in Oklahoma is not okay. It is one of the nation's highest rate of drug abuse. Oh, and the 2nd highest rate of people without health insurance. So they're going to do it in Oklahoma. Let's see. They also have some strict abortion laws. And the air quality is, again, really great, but when it comes to reproductive rights, health, and voting rights, you're not doing so great. And the number one worst state to live in, according to this study, Texas. How could 200,000 college-educated workers move into Texas each year possibly be wrong? That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people are moving to Texas. Depends on how you look. How you look at it. With the nation's highest percentage of people without health insurance and second lowest number of primary health physicians per capita, all the new Texans are arriving to find dismal healthcare system, and Texas has the nation's 13th highest. Yeah, I know that highest violent crime rate. Yeah, a lot of violent crime in Texas. I didn't know that much. And it ranks 37th for licensed child care facilities per capita. So yeah, when it comes to crime and the fact that you may not have good health care, Texas is number one. And they also have no metrics in the top 25 when it comes to strengths. So while everything is bigger in Texas, it still has this variety of flaws. Now we move into what might even be more shocking: the 10 best states. And you guys might be shocked at like number 10 through 8. Yes, number 10 is Connecticut.
This list is already invalid.
Connecticut residents enjoy some of the best health care in the nation, and it shows frequent health distress is among the lowest in any state, according to United Health Foundation. Access to care among the best anywhere, with one primary care physician for every 3 residents. Crime is low, and worker protection is robust. So yeah, and this is where it flips. I'm telling you. The strengths include healthcare, low crime, and work protection.
You hear that? Hartford naysayers. People talking about how bad Hartford is.
Air quality. I wonder how high they rate air quality, because air quality is gonna literally impact like the lifespan of people.
I guess.
And
closer you get to New York City.
At number, that's true. At number, it's a tie. What's 9? Did they skip it?
Yeah, they skipped 5 to another one.
Okay, fair enough. At number 8, surprise, surprise, Massachusetts, the Bay State, which is Colorado. The Bay State is another healthcare powerhouse. I think I actually know this. The legacy of Romney Care. Basically, if you really care about healthcare, Massachusetts is the place to go. And I think they actually do really good when it comes to test scores too. But we actually do really bad when it comes to crime rate, so I'm surprised they didn't mention that. Colorado's also at 8. What else we got? Keep going, Ace. At number 7, we have Washington. At number 6, we have Oregon.
Maybe they skip when they do ties. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I've heard good things about Washington. I didn't know what's numbers. What's number 6 again? I didn't know Oregon was that great, but so it's Oregon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
At number 5, we have Hawaii. That's super interesting. But, as they say, who wouldn't want to live in Hawaii? The air is pure, according to the American Lung Association data. Healthcare is plentiful. Crime is generally low. Of course, they're going to be low. There's less people, and it's island. In Hawaii, and it's Hawaii. So, yeah, I can imagine. It's probably one of the closest things to paradise you have in the United States, except the fact that you're far away from everything else. Minnesota's at number 4. It's probably going to be super.
Really?
It's probably going to be pretty cool there, except, it's probably cold.
Minnesota?
You can go see the Timberwolves game. Number 3, they have New Jersey.
No,
really?
The Jersey.
What?
No, this
joke.
There's
Florida State is
this
one of America's most inclusive. They're going by data here, guys. We can't just go by feelings. With the broad protection against discrimination amongst the nations.
got the most corrupt government around. I'm sure that's like an actual thing, like the most corrupt government.
Well, even if the government is corrupt, not the local crime rate. According to this, it says New Jersey is one of America's most safest states, according to FBI's crime data. Its violent crime rate is amongst the lowest in the nation. So, if you care about crime. Number 2, they have Maine. This doesn't shock me at all either. Maine seems like super tame. Like, you never hear anything bad happening in Maine. It's like the opposite of Florida, actually. And at number 1, if you really care about the state you live in, if you are going to, base your life around some of these factors that we mentioned, whether it be air quality, healthcare, childcare, voting rights, you want to live in at number 1, Vermont. By the numbers, Living in the Green Mountain State is stress-free, easy, and healthy. Vermont offers America's best air quality with 0 high ozone days. What is a high ozone day? Per
You never
year.
seen it on the forecast?
I don't pay attention to the weather. In the nation's most accessible childcare, Vermonters enjoy broad protections across discrimination, and it's one of the nation's easiest states to vote in. Life in Vermont is good.
I can attest to this. They also don't care what you build. Like they're they're very lax as far as building is concerned.
Is that for the best?
I don't think so, but
Depends.
Happiness. If you're talking happiness, you might lose your house eventually, but
yeah.
you
Well,
can do
there
what
have-
you want.
There you have it.
But then again, Texas is very similar. So
True. You know what's unfortunate about this? I think if you look at it like objectively, you probably can like look at like the strengths and weaknesses of these respective places. But the problem is not the problem. Maybe you should really look at it. I think some of these things come down to like where you find yourself like politically. Like a lot of these states, they were kind of saying rights or like they don't force you to have a health care. But some people will be like, fam, I'm all for that. So it's kind of interesting. Obviously, I think some of the things that are more like could impact everyone, like the crime rate, worker protections. I think those are things that are like across the board, everyone will care about. But some of these things, I don't think people would consider them a weakness or a strength.
Yeah, they gotta do a different criteria list.
Yeah, but I think they try to look at like in general. Like I think in general, people are going to care about childcare and voting rights. I don't know how many people care about air quality. I think I do, but
No, that's a great plus.
You never know until you know. But yeah, there you have it. 50 states. These are the top 10 worst and best according to this study. Anyone want to move based on this information?
no,
No.
I'm good where I am actually.
In a word, New England is the best, which we've always been saying.
Yeah, New England does have the most. They have Vermont, Maine, Mass, Connecticut, Jersey. Right? Is Jersey New England? I don't know about that one.
No.
But yeah, and I guess the Midwest by this match, or is it the South? The South had a couple: Louisiana, Texas, Bama, Arkansas. Yeah, crazy how they didn't. Like, I wonder where California falls on this list. But California is still expensive. Like, I would give it
moving
a.
from California to Texas.
California is 11.
I wouldn't be surprised between the forest fires, the pollution, crime. But I digress. So yeah, just a little fact of life, if you so care about things like that. But if there's nothing else regarding states, that is actually the end of the topics. Yes. Yes, indeed. Now, obviously, before we, move on and close out, just want to do a double check. Does anyone have anything they want to get off their heart? Anything they want to get off their chest? Anything that we might have missed or want to walk back or anything like that?
The alien topic made me want to re-endorse the 3 Body Problem series.
Oh, because something you recommended and it has to do with that. See?
Yeah,
I feel like that's a spoiler.
yeah, it kind of is.
See. Well, anyway, I mean, if you care about aliens, all the
But
same.
it kind of spoils the entire first half of the book. But
Well, good thing I don't read books. Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's anything either, and fortunately, I don't think there's any too pressing news outside of what we're talking about. So, yeah, okay. So, like we like to do at the end of all these podcasts, what, if anything, are we looking forward to? Both, whether it's near future, long term. What they say about having something to look forward to.
this is kind of cheating because it was on my looking forward to last time. But that Lazarus series, they just dropped the first trailer for it, and it looks perfect.
This is the anime, or
Yeah, the anime by the director of Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and yeah, the the track they used for the trailer was amazing. The visuals look great. I don't know anything about the story, but yeah, it looks.
Oh, Lazarus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an anime. Be anything.
There's nothing wrong with that. I definitely sometimes like will hear about something, and then once I actually see the trailer or get more information, I definitely get even more pumped about it. For myself, this is kind of something niche, but as you may or may not know, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! The TCG is one of the best franchises on the planet, and they're having their World Championship tournament next week, so I'm gonna be super into that.
Wait, you follow Yu-Gi-Oh?
Absolutely, one of the best franchises of all time, top 5. I even put Star Wars up there, so I say no subjective.
I hit a museum this week, a clock museum. So looking forward to that.
we don't come out here and shame. We don't come out here and shame anybody's looking forward to this.
Well, I'm honestly not even trying to shame you. I'm just genuinely curious. Why is that? Because it sounds like you're like really looking forward to this, and I just could never see that in a million years for myself. But is it just because you like how they work, or you're gonna buy a watch or something? Or?
Simple as that. The man likes clocks.
I guess.
There's a lot of museums around here though that I've seen the signs for and have never gone to. I'm like, why am I not going to these places?
Yep, I agree.
That's funny.
Like this is, this to get back to the state thing. We have a lot of historical sites and things that are actually pretty interesting that I kind of have ignored.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm never against somebody doing some exploration or venturing in something like that. Admittedly, I don't know if that would be my first venture because I think there are some other museums that probably have a little more interest in my opinion, IMO. But like I said, I'm never gonna shame somebody for what they're looking forward to, unless they want to spend a lot of money on becoming an animal. Maybe then we shame that. But anyway, but yeah, no. It's all good love to look forward to. And with that, I think that's everything. I don't know if this was as weird as I kind of hyped it up to be, but regardless, I try to have some level of theme, even though it doesn't usually work like that. But regardless of what you thought of the theme, I hope you guys had an okay time on this podcast. And even if you didn't, I thank you guys all the same for coming on here and do this podcast thing with me. And we collectively thank any and all listeners and any and all feedback. We greatly appreciate y'all. And we hope that by listening to us, you may be given a perspective or learn something new, like the fact that if you get dumped, you find the right lawyer, you may or may not have a case. Or we just hope that you find us entertaining. But if none of that happened for you, then all we have to say to you is... Don't cough when I'm doing my outro. I'm just joking. But yeah, we want to be Phil. Thank you. Alright. Stopping the recording. And yeah. I hope that stream went well. I hope there's no weird audio bugs, and I hope hope we can come on and continue to do this thing. So stopping the stream.